Hi, I'm Dr. Josef Witt-Doerring. So I have a big announcement, and that is that today we're going to be giving away, our quote-unquote trade secrets or our proprietary process for drug tapering. These are the trainings that I use with the staff who join the taper clinic and that we use to safely get people off medications. And we're going to be releasing them today for free. So there'll be links below this videos. And there's a couple reasons for this. Well, the first reason is that we can't work with everyone at the moment. We can only work with a couple people in a few US states, and I've always not liked that. And so the hope is that someone who wants to taper could take this training, and they may be able to use it with a doctor that they're working with anywhere around the world, and it at least provides a framework for someone to think through a drug taper. Now, what I will say is that this training is actually written for clinicians. So some of the language might be a little technical, but for the motivated, layperson, I think they're going to be just fine. The other thing is that there's a lot of really talented people out there who have been through psychiatric drug withdrawal, and they want to help people, or there's medical students or residents or, psychiatrists or doctors out there who are really interested in tapering. And we get lots of emails for people wanting to learn how to do this. And I want to make this available to you for free. So if you are wanting to help people wherever you are in the world, that you at least have a framework for how to do so. And I think this is going to get you most of the way there. And so what I'd like to do is walk you through it so you can see what this training is like. Okay, so when you enter the training, there's a couple sections in here. First, you'll get taught about the comprehensive assessment, which is essentially 8 factors that I think anyone who's helping someone with drug tapering needs to know about. They need to take this into account in their treatment plan. Before I go any further, what I want to say is if you're just on one drug and you're totally stable, this training will help, but it will be overkill because this is really set up to help the people that I work with in my program taper the most complicated patients. And so we get a lot of people with protracted withdrawal who have really damaged nervous systems. And we have people on multiple drugs. We have people with psychotic illness. And so if you're working with these more challenging cases, that's when you're going to need this very comprehensive assessment. You can still use this if you have a really simple taper, but there may be a lot of things in here that could seem like overkill, like, tapering with multiple drugs and things like that. But let's put that aside. So there's an 8-factor assessment at the beginning, and these are everything that I think about. I made this training. This is all of the things that I've learned over the last 5 years of doing this work. And you have to integrate these 8 factors when you're building out a plan. And so all of these different modules here will teach you how to recognize the different 8 factors and integrate them into a plan. Down here, we have helpful spreadsheets. So if you are taking a drug tapering history, these are the sections that I use in my histories and that I teach my clinicians how to use. And this essentially will lay everything out for you in terms of capturing all of the relevant information. And we have a few trainings specifically in here on how we go about doing a targeted history for drug tapering. After you've taken your history and you've done your assessment, we've got a list of all the questions that you should be able to answer before you jump in and get started. This is just a nice level check that you've done a thorough job. And then we tell you how to treat each of the things and in what steps you should treat each of the things. And we go through, how do you treat acute withdrawal into dose? How do you ferret out medical problems that might be going on? Addressing substances that might be harming them, and so on and so forth. We have a very detailed section on the actual mechanics of drug tapering. How quickly do you taper? Do you do cut and hold or micro taper? How do you pick the form that you want to taper? Each of these steps just kind of goes through it bit by bit. We have a whole module on how to adjust your tapering speed, along with, frequently asked questions that people get. We've got modules on hard to taper drugs, things like Cymbalta, Pristiq. And then we have a whole module on tapering people with highly sensitive nervous systems. So these are usually people who have been damaged following a protracted withdrawal injury, and just are the framework by which you need to taper these people and how it's different and why it's important that you taper them in a different way. And so that's it. This training at the moment is kind of in its beta version. And as I learn more and as our team learns more, we're going to be adding to it. We may also start to create some videos. At the moment, a lot of it is just kind of reading like it's a book. But over time, there may be some video resources in there. And that's my commitment to you, that we're going to make this available to anyone who wants to use this anywhere in the world. And we're going to keep on improving it so the best possible information is out there. Now, along with this, we actually have another unique thing that we're launching at the moment, and that is our drug tapering mentorship, which is free. And this is what my wife is doing over on her school platform. We're going to be doing two things here. One side of it is it's a community for people who maybe don't feel at home within the current mental health system. They're having a lot of questions. They're trying to find their footing in this industry, and they don't really know how to find a place for themselves because they don't really agree with the conventional model, and they want to know how they can help people in the way that they truly believe. And so there's a kind of a mentorship component that my wife is heavily involved in. She's been doing this for a while, kind of guiding people on how to find themselves in a system that's, it's kind of hard to find a place, especially if you're against like the over-drugging of everyone. And so if you're having questions about that, and you could be any age, I mean, she's helping some kids in high school, but there's also some people who are, professionals, and they're wanting to transition to this as well. So that's one group of it. The other group, the other side of the mentorship program is actually just drug tapering. Now, me and some of the people in the taper clinic will periodically make ourselves available to answer questions and do groups. And so if you are a coach, a pharmacist, a doctor, NP, PA, and you're actually tapering patients off psychiatric medications and you have questions, you can join this and we will answer your questions and see if we can help you. If you are interested in joining, in applying for this drug tapering program, there are a couple steps. We ask you some questions so we can get to know you and assess whether you're a fit. So the link to that is also going to be in the description below this. It's like a vloggy, and you have to leave some questions there. And so really, my hope with this is that we can get as many people into drug tapering as possible, and that I can be a part, and my wife can be a part, and my team can be a part of just elevating the level of expertise in this area in general. And so there you go. I hope this is really helpful for you, wherever you are in your drug tapering journey. Maybe you are the person tapering, or you're the person wanting to help people taper. I do think this has a lot to offer. And if you're interested in the mentorship program, we'd love to hear from you. Thanks.